These are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. I bring that up because John makes it abundantly clear to us that, hey, a lot of things that Jesus did we don't know about. We don't hear about it. We don't see it. We certainly don't encounter it in John's gospel. John very selectively and very meticulously and very specifically, by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, chose specific signs, what we might call miracles, but he calls signs, in order that the message of the gospel is made known and made clear, in order that we may know who Jesus really is, and in order that we may believe in him and have life in his name. John's aim was to ensure that those who read his gospel believed in Jesus Christ. And in John's gospel, there are at least 6. There's a debate here, but we're gonna rest comfortably that there's at least 6. There may be more, maybe a 7th. But again, I don't want to bore you with all the details because I was bored by it looking into it. Just kidding. But there are at least 6 key signs that John captures in his gospel. We've already looked at the first one, right? If you recall, the first sign, which we talked about when we preached on this back in October of 22, it was the 5th week of this series, Jesus changed water into wine, which I found peculiar then, I find peculiar now. I think it's increasingly compelling to look at over and over again that Jesus' first miracle was turning water into wine at a wedding. But we looked at that and we looked at what we think that means. But as we get into this chapter, this section today, we're going to come to Jesus' second sign. He's going to heal someone. We're going to see kind of his first healing in the book of John. But in John's gospel, as I said a moment ago, John is using signs to tell us something about Jesus, right? So if John is using his signs to tell us something about Jesus, then we should look at those signs with a mind toward what is he trying to tell us about who Christ is. In John's gospel, one author, Andres Kostenberger, tells us that signs occupy a central place in John's Christology, and they function as an important structural component. They're there, he's ultimately saying, for a very important reason. They're telling us about Jesus' Christological nature, meaning his nature